folks. It is the Podsquad with Kathy Morrison, Wendy Card, and yours truly, Colleen Roberts. Thank you so much for tuning in today for New Bern Now's podcast. Today is March 11th, 2021, and this is episode 176.
And we're connecting you with the people, places, and happenings in New Bern and surrounding areas. And we really want you to join the conversation by commenting on this live stream on New Bern Now's Facebook page. We want to know what you think, and that's how we'll learn about each other and our community at large.
But before we get started, we always kick things off with a contest, and Wendy Card is always the brainiac behind that contest. But before she gives the trivia question, to be entered to win, so if you think you know the answer and think you might win, make sure that you comment during today's show on the New Bern Now Facebook page. This podcast tends to be shared quite a bit. You can't comment on someone else's sharing of the live podcast. It has to be on the New Bern Now Facebook page. So Wendy, take it away with the trivia question.
All right. And I'm not a brainiac. I'm Googling these questions, and it's hard. It's hard when you're like, it's the night before and it's like, oh gosh, I forgot to look before for a question. But I think this is really fitting because we have the mobile wall coming to New Bern in April, I think. So who is the architect of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C., which she designed when she was only 21 years old? I didn't know that.
I used to know it.
I feel like I did too, but
it's.
I've been there many times, but I never knew it was a young lady. So that's cool.
Very cool.
It's Women's History Month, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you didn't hear the question, don't worry about it. We will revisit it a couple more times. So there's plenty of time to think about it and guess your answer on the New Bern Now Facebook live stream. So Anyway, how is everybody doing? It is such a beautiful day outside, is it not?
It is. It's one of
gorgeous.
Those days you want to be sitting out in the sunshine and saying, here I am.
I thought about taking my laptop outside and doing this outside, but I wasn't sure how strong the internet signal would be. But I thought, gosh, wouldn't that be wonderful? Sit outside.
Enjoy it. We have it today and tomorrow, and then we're back to normal on the weekend.
Oh, no.
So enjoy.
See, I just don't look at the weather, so I just assume like tomorrow's going to be just a beautiful day too. So,
and then I think Monday has like a 40% chance of rain or something like that, which is okay for a Monday because people don't generally like Mondays anyway. So,
well, Monday's the first work day after the daylight savings change.
That's true. So it's probably going to be rotten anyway.
It's going to be dark in the morning, and then if it rains, happy Monday.
Yeah.
Kathy, what's going on at the New Bern Historical Society?
We're gearing back up and getting stuff happening. We've got coming up this weekend is the first of the two mini ABC sales that are going to be out at Battlefield Park in the pavilion there. And it's a specially selected, a curated, if you would, collection of stuff. And it's going to be art, antiques, collectibles, jewelry, tools, and furniture. So if you're interested in those kinds of things and just have fun looking and poking around, come on out. It'll start at 10. It's mini because it won't be the big, huge building packed with stuff when they've got to bring it from the warehouse and set it up in the morning. And so they'll start up at 10 o'clock. It goes 10 to 3, and that's the first of two. The next one's on the 27th. So if you have a good time at yard sales and those kinds of things, go on out there.
What's the location again?
It's at New Bern Battlefield Park. That's 300 Battlefield Trail, and it's at the pavilion there. So it is open air. Do wear a mask and watch your distance. But there should be, room enough for folks in there being outside. So it's because the pavilion doesn't have any walls.
That's a great location.
Yes, it is.
It should be a good collection, and there's always something interesting that you didn't know you really, really needed.
Yes.
So see what you find there. Also want to remind folks about the Harriet Marks Scholarship. The deadline to apply for that is March 26th. That's for a New Bern High School senior. Go to our website and find the information on that, newbernhistorical.org/scholarship. And then coming up April 9th and 10th, it's not that far away. We're less than a month out from the Hollowed Ground Lantern Tour. This is something brand new, showcasing the battlefield again. So it's another outdoor event, but it's outdoors, it's in the evening, and it's a storytelling event. So it's brand new, going to be April 9th and 10th. And you'll get a tour through the battlefield, and at 8 stops along the way, you'll hear from people who were in and around New Bern in April or March of 1862. So it's going to be cool.
Very
Wow.
interesting.
So you'll split everybody up into groups to go
They'll be in
through?
groups. So again, you'll need to register. You don't get a physical ticket, but you'll need to register for a time so we can control the numbers in the groups that go through. So, so we keep everybody healthy. And that's the point. We want everybody healthy because we want to see you next year.
Yeah.
So yes, you'll need to get a registration, and you can register at newbernhistorical.org/tickets, or pick up the phone and give us a call at 638-8558. Or you can even stop by the office if you want at 511 Broad Street, and you'll get a specific time, either on that Friday or Saturday, to come and do the tour. There will also be the 26th North Carolina reenactors are going to be there, and they'll have an encampment, so you can wander through the encampment and see what's happening there. And there will also be a tent where they're going to reenact some of the what were formerly enslaved people who came to New Bern for their freedom. And so New Bern was a magnet for those enslaved people. And so there's a lot of history combined with that. And so there'll be that there as well. So it'll be an interesting presentation. Tickets will be available starting Monday. And we expect that the slots are going to fill up. So move.
Anything we need to bring? You say lantern tour, and I think about, bring your own lantern. You don't have to do that.
No, but you might, you'll have your most people will have their cell phone with a light on it.
Right.
But the folks there will have the lanterns because they'll have people guiding you through so that you can, watch your step and see where you're going. But flashlight wouldn't hurt. Flashlight or your cell phone.
Fantastic.
So
That
that's
sounds
brand
awesome.
new. Yeah, brand new. And we're really expecting it to be popular. And, I heard one of the audios from one of the presentations, and it was really moving. It's, just the stories, because we have a lot of letters, we have a lot of diaries from that era. So we have, the words of the people who were there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And-
So it'll be cool.
And guess what I have?
What have you got?
What?
You
A
can
lantern.
guess?
A lantern. Oh, look, how old is that, Wendy?
It's old.
Is it a railroad lantern?
I don't know. It says Dietz something, Little Wizard. My dad always had that hanging in the house, and I think he got that from his father. And
Cool.
my dad came from Leeds, England, with his folks and his sister too. They immigrated to St. Catherine's and Welland, in the Welland Canal. His grandfather worked the locks there, and so I don't know where it came from. So I should have asked my sisters to see if they knew. But yeah, that's every time I see that, it just brings back some really cool memories. So
You better hold on tight to that.
Yeah.
I love lanterns, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna
me too.
attend the lantern tour. So
Good.
and
Attend
maybe
the-
I'll bring mine.
Neat.
Anyway,
That would be cool.
That is,
yeah.
yeah.
And
So
Colleen,
Let's see, on the city end of things, a couple days ago, we had the ribbon cutting on the brand new law enforcement training center out at the Volt Center
Mhm.
in partnership with Craven Community College. And it we talked about this a couple weeks ago so that we could alert everybody to the ribbon cutting. And I forgot the third person who helped so generously with the renovations. I don't know if you remember that, but so it was the Harold A. Carolina East and then the Craven Community College Foundation. I forgot the foundation.
Uh-oh.
Oh, well, you got them
But
this
it
time.
was,
That's good.
yes, they each gave $50,000 towards the renovations of the building. It was an old leaf and limb maintenance division building. It had been used for storage. It directly faces Rem Street. So if you drive through there, look for the new law enforcement training center. It's one of the only buildings out there with a semicircular roof.
Okay.
And it was a beautiful day for ribbon cutting. We had remarks by Dr. Stats of the college and also Mayor Outlaw. And then we cut a ribbon and everybody got to go through and look at the classroom space, the kitchen, the office space, and of course the simulator. And what was kind of interesting to me was sort of at the end of the ribbon cutting, you know, people were already leaving to go about their day. Some non-law enforcement got to sort of experiment with the simulator and do some target shooting and things like that. First of all, it was no joke to be in there when the simulator was going, and they would put up different scenes. And one of the scenes is a very aggressive male who has a weapon and is running towards you. And so the officer has to respond quickly to disarm the person and stop them from charging him. And their accuracy is incredible. But some of the non-law enforcement who were experimenting with the simulator at the end were not so accurate. So it was kind of fun. Like Matt Montaigne jumped up there and, you know, was trying to navigate his way through the simulation, and he wasn't doing a very good job. So we'll leave it to the law enforcement.
Yeah, it makes you really
Leave it to the
appreciate
professionals.
law enforcement.
Yeah, that's a
But this,
wonderful training tool. I mean, it's awesome that that's here, right here in New Bern. That's incredible.
And the, you know, one of the main reasons, of course, you know, that we, with this partnership with the college, and thanks to the hospital and the Bate Foundation, you know, this will be used as a training tool, and certainly for continuing education for local law enforcement, but also regionally, that they can come here and train too. But really, one of the most important reasons we got it is an incredibly great way to teach de-escalation techniques. So, and in this era, that is a very important tool to have, especially with, you know, a mental health crisis that we have on our hands, and a lot of people, you know, feeling cooped up, having been home for the last year and just, you know, needing to get out and, you know, take out some stress. You know, it will be important for our law enforcement officers when they show up to a scene to really be able to assess the situation and use some of those de-escalation techniques. So, but it was a gorgeous day. It was a wonderful ribbon cutting. What a very modern piece of technology that will come in handy, I'm sure.
Yes.
So that was one of the things happened earlier this week. Oh yeah, and the college is going to, once we get many more vaccinations done and it's a little safer to congregate in groups, the college several months from now wants to be able to have a open house where they invite the community to come and check out the simulator. So it was a little bit of a smaller crowd that came out on Tuesday, but they do hope to open it up so everybody can come out and see it several months from now. Yeah, super neat. The other thing I actually forgot to talk about last week is we recently had sort of a 2-day conference, kind of, with stakeholders of our resiliency project. So we've engaged several consultants to help us create a hazard mitigation and resiliency plan. You know, how do we, as a city, how do we better withstand disaster events and recover from them? And this stakeholder event engaged all kinds of local, regional, state folks, emergency management, environmental folks, engineers, Department of Transportation. We had Katie Langley Hunt, the river keeper,
Yay.
also participated, very valuable info and insight that she shared with us. And we actually had homework over the 2-day conference. I was actually in the group involved with public outreach and education, and we really tried to think outside the box for ways that we can reach people on all types of levels, as in, how do you better reach people and let them know that their property has been identified in a floodplain, probably is flood prone. And from now on, when serious storms come our way, you may want to think about evacuating. How do you reach out to folks and educate them about flood insurance? And even emergency messaging when the disaster is upon us and you're trying to reach people. How can we think outside of Code Red, which is one of the emergency notification systems that we use, obviously social media and our website and City 3 TV. Well, how do you, if all that were, say, wiped out, how are you reaching people? How are you organizing your staff efficiently in order to be able to reach folks? And so it was a really neat 2-day event. We talked about environmental solutions to disaster events. And it was just, it was a lot, but it was very valuable, and it will help create a mitigation and resiliency plan. So it was a lot of insight from local, regional, state folks, and that will help us put together a very robust plan. So that was a couple weeks ago. Kept us busy over a 2-day period, but it was really neat.
Neat.
So
Will you
that's a little bit about
folks
what's
later?
going on at the City of New Bern. And today, in the 64-degree sunshine, it was tough, but somebody had to do it. We had drone training at Martin Marietta Park.
You need to text me when you're doing that. I want to come out and watch.
The New Bern Fire Rescue Department, I don't know whether to thank them or complain about them, because they went out there ahead of the rest of us and they hid 2 of their mannequins, I guess. One is the size of a toddler that they use for child safety seat demonstrations. And then the other one is very much the size of an infant.
Ooh.
And so the scenario with the toddler was the toddler had climbed a tree and could not get down. And, you were maybe able to hear the toddler, but you could not find him or her. So let's launch a drone and try to go find them. The other one was a newborn baby left in the shade of a large tree. Well, if you've been to Martin Marietta Park, there are about a gazillion trees. And it's not like the mannequins are wearing fluorescent yellow clothing, It was so difficult to find them. But practice makes perfect. That's why we're doing this with the mannequins, so that we can get some experience under our belts. And heaven forbid, if we really needed those services, hopefully we will be better prepared. But it's a beautiful morning, but I couldn't find either of the mannequins. I'm the only woman certified drone pilot with the city. And, my competitive nature, I was like, yeah, just all you guys, just give me the controls. I'll be able to find them. Nope.
Maybe
But
next time.
Could the guys find them either? So,
Well, there you
Yeah.
have it.
well as you did.
Yeah.
The one of the fire rescue inspectors ended up coming over and trying to coach each of us. And one of the really valuable points we learned on this session of training is to ask more questions and get more information. Say a parent was out there walking with the child ask more questions of the parent. What was the general area they took off in? Had they reached the creek yet or not? Things like that might be able to narrow down the location. So anyway.
Yeah.
Wendy,
Fun
we have some
stuff.
folks waiting in the waiting room, correct?
Yes, we do. We have the Carolina Therapy Connection.
We have Cindy
Melana
Taylor
and
Melana Griffee.
I always mess up her name. Melana? Is it
Melana? I'm sorry.
Is it, did I get it right? Melana?
Yeah.
Cindy and Melana. Yay, thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah. So how's it going? We're
Good. Today's a good day. It is beautiful outside today. We're loving this weather. We're down.
Yeah.
Yes, I wish we could all be together and not, virtual. Be outside enjoying the elements.
I know. We're actually in Greenville Clinic today, but we have been just preparing our newborn clinic for our ribbon cutting, which is going to be towards the end of this month. So we're super excited about it.
So tell us a little bit about Carolina Therapy Connection. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, so we have been in business a little over 10 years now. It just started, I started it a long time ago, and I'm an occupational therapist, and it was just me, and then we've just continued to grow with the support of the community. We have such great relationships with the pediatricians and just all the families here, and then we decided we really wanted to venture into other areas, so we opened up a clinic in Goldsboro and New Bern, and now we're expanding down that way, and we actually provide occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, and like educational services, which can consist of educational testing and tutoring services for kids. We do also serve adults as well, just through a specialized program through the state. And so yeah, we're super excited to be in New Bern. Melina's actually heads up our New Bern clinic. She is from there, so we've got some really good relationships going so far, and we're just super excited about it. We have basically, our clinics are set up like sensory clinics, so we have huge sensory gyms and then smaller areas for kids who maybe need smaller spaces. And we're actually, all of our therapists are certified autism specialists, and we have that certified autism center designation as well.
So what does it mean to be a certified autism center? How does that make you different?
Yeah, so it's a credential basically that we have it's an international credentialing board, and it just requires that 80% or more of our entire staff are either hold a certified autism specialty or an autism certificate, and it basically says that we're going to maintain that as well. So not only are our therapists all credentialed, but our front office staff, like Melana, and our office managers, our billing, everybody has this extra training. What it really means is that we have extra research and knowledge. We have to do a lot of credentialing for this certification to maintain it in the field and realm of autism, basically. Really also helps us to better understand the autism population, families, caregivers, people with autism, kids. And so we really we stay up to date on all the latest research. It helps us to develop better programs. Yeah, it's been awesome, really.
Can people reach out to you directly, or do they have to be referred to you?
Yeah, so they can reach right out to us, which is nice because the state of North Carolina, it's considered a direct access state. So they can contact us directly for any type of services. We do free screenings too. Melana's been setting that up with some of the private schools there and daycares. And they just have to call our office, and we can get them in either for a free screening. The screening is basically to determine if an evaluation is necessary. So if kids or parents are like, oh, I don't know if my baby's on track, or I don't know, my child has poor handwriting, I'm not sure if an evaluation would be necessary. Those are all free. We do those every day in New Bern. But if they needed an evaluation too, we would set that all up for them. we would contact their insurance, their doctors, everything.
Now, do you test or technically diagnose autism?
So we do not, as clinicians, we cannot diagnose autism, but we actually really, especially Melana, because she's got a really good background with autism. Her brother has autism, so she has a lot of knowledge of the community resources, especially in and around Craven County. But so a lot of times we act as kind of those case managers for kids with autism. So if kids come to us and they don't yet have the diagnosis, we're not able to provide that diagnosis, but we're able to steer them in the right direction. We're able to treat for it, and we're able to help them along that way. I mean, really walk with the families in that aspect. And so they cannot get the diagnosis from us, but we can help with setting up the treatment and getting them that evaluation too if they needed it.
Melana, I know she said you can speak from experience, and I'm sure you have a lot to share with the staff there. Tell us about your brother.
Yeah, it's cool to be in a position like I am because my brother, he'll be 24 soon, 25 actually, and he suffered from autism. He was diagnosed when he was 4. So I've been around it all my life, and I've just seen through my mom and through different caseworkers and different mentors that there's a desperate need for services like this. And I wish my brother had something like this to come to when he was of age. But I think it's cool coming from all the experience I have with him and seeing all our patients and being able to essentially sometimes help the therapist like understand, because some therapists don't have that like personal relationship with somebody that's autistic. And my brother's nonverbal. I haven't heard him speak a word at all. So it's a little bit different, but I always tell people that he speaks without words. But no, it's just really cool. And I've, grown up doing special needs baseball. I was Project Unify art club. We had a club in high school that I was the president of, and we just worked with the special needs classes at our high school. I went to New Bern High School, and we just worked with them and did different events, and we just kept them involved in stuff. They also had proms for them too, like separate proms. So yeah, I mean, I've been around it all my life, and I hope to become an OTA someday. So I think this position and me, being involved in the community is really cool.
Very nice.
Very, yes.
So you have, tell us about your ribbon cutting. It's March 26th.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. We're inviting everybody from the community who wants to come. We're super excited. We've really modeled our New Bern clinic after our Greenville clinic. And was awesome about the fact that we were able to expand in Greenville from 2,500 square feet to 5,000 square feet, and we remodeled the entire clinic. And so from that experience, it really helped us develop our New Bern clinic as well. And so we knew exactly what we needed to do, what worked for kids, what didn't work. And so we have a really awesome sensory gym there. And then we have private offices for all of our therapists. And then we have a multi-purpose room in the back for training and for groups. We're getting ready to roll out some social skills group and parent support groups, which we're really excited about too. So it'll give people from the community a chance to really come and explore and take a tour. We're getting ready to do a virtual tour in New Bern too. We've got one in Greenville. Parents really love that too, to show their kids before they come, because a lot of times kids come in, they're like, is this a doctor's office, and so we really don't want to, we don't want that stigma, and we want it to be fun and calming at the same time. So yeah, we're just really excited about it, and just this opportunity is just awesome to be in Craven County. So yeah, we're just really excited.
Go ahead, Wendy.
Well, I went by the clinic the other day, and it is gorgeous. The trees on the walls, paintings, and it's just in little paintings, or I don't know if it's chalk or paint on the doors, and it's just it's a really fun feeling and calming space. I think you just did a wonderful job, and there's such a need in our community. Congratulations. That's wonderful. Yeah.
So March 26th at 1:00. And what is the address for the ribbon cutting?
Sure. It's 1314 Commerce Drive. we're centrally located to a lot of things. Target's right there. I mean, everything is right there. I love it. And we're gonna have food and everything's gonna be COVID friendly, obviously. So everybody who's welcome, you know, I think we have do we have an event page yet?
We don't, but we're gonna create.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna do an event page on Facebook. We'll let you guys know, and if people wanted to RSVP to that, they could. But even if they just wanted to show up, we'd be happy to have everybody who's interested.
And if folks want to reach out to you to ask more questions and find out about your treatments and things, how can they call you or contact you?
So actually, everything is on our website. It's carolinatherapyconnection.com. Our number is up there, and really the easiest way people can find out all kinds of information. We have frequently asked questions. We have a lot of videos up there through our blog. And then also our social media has been just a huge thing lately. I feel like a lot of people find us through social media first and then kind of navigate to our website. But we're on Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest, and it's all with the handle Carolina Therapy Connection.
Fantastic. Well, Cindy
Yay.
and Melana, thanks so much for joining us today, and best of luck at the ribbon cutting.
Thanks so much for having us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll see you at the ribbon cutting.
That's
Thank you, ladies. Have a
Bye.
wonderful day. Try to enjoy this beautiful weather.
Yes. Have a good afternoon. Bye.
Bye. Yay.
And
Awesome.
then right behind them, right? Are you bringing in Claudia?
Yeah, I am, but let's see. We have Joe, and he's commenting, how's things in New Bern? I will be coming down in May. I'm from New York, but looking into moving there. How do
Wow.
I join the conversation? Well, Joe, we haven't set up a phone line yet. I'm still trying to work out that kind of interactivity. But if you ask questions like you just did, as far as you're moving down, how to join in, what part of New York are you from? You know, what are your interests? We can engage that way. And if you want to join as a guest in the future, give me a call at 252-259-6853 or send me an email at info@newbernnow.com. And let's move to the trivia question real quick. If you know the answer, you're going to win a prize. Well, you'll be, as long as you're the only one that guesses correctly. So who is the architect of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C., which she designed when she was only 21 years old? So answer in this live stream, and let's get to our the other guests. And we have
Claudia and Wade and Jim, right? Talking about the Civil War Hospital.
Claudia and Wade, yeah. Okay.
Are they all coming in together under one?
I believe that Jim and Claudia and Nathaniel are there with Claudia, and then Wade is at home. And they did all this. There we go. I see Claudia and Nathaniel.
Hi, guys. Hi, Nathaniel.
I never see you.
There we go.
Claudia, I haven't seen you in 2-3 years. I miss you. Nathaniel, it's nice to meet you. Yay.
Let me make this bigger so we can see you all. This is a very exciting. It's like a reunion.
Woo.
You are now.
And
Yeah.
I think, is Wade still trying to join and get his video going?
I think, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes, we can hear
wanna-
you.
We want to see you though.
I
Yes.
don't know what's going on here. Let me,
Right.
Wade had his second shot today. Because
nothing
Oh,
like
good.
technology.
Good. There's a little video icon there.
Oh, it's on, but you're not seeing
Wow.
Okay.
Interesting.
it. Yeah.
you're going to be the unknown historian there. I don't know.
Right.
The masked
Well, I
author.
guess at least you can hear me, I guess. I mean, let me try this again, folks. I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
Okay.
While he's trying to rejoin, the gentleman who's from New York that was commenting on the show, when we were at Martin Marietta Park for drone training, there was this gentleman there with the cutest little dog. And he said he moved here from Colorado.
Wow.
So moved here to retire.
All right.
So
Perfect
I was like,
place.
wow, you are far away from home.
Well,
So
Claudia's another New Yorker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So New York. And
Yeah.
Nathaniel, where are you from? What's that?
what?
Yeah, we're not hearing you.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Scoot up and in. There you go.
Where are you from?
New Bern.
Oh,
You're the only native. Yeah.
I'm the only one.
Yeah.
you're the only native in the group. Where is
Yeah.
Wade from? Is he from New Bern?
from Moorhead City.
Moorhead.
But he'll tell you, but and he went to ECU and but he has relatives from New York. I found that out. Oh, here he is.
Let's see if we get him this time.
Yeah. See if things change.
Almost.
Okay,
Drum
yeah.
roll.
Come in, Wade.
Well, folks, for some reason, I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yes.
hear you.
We can
Yeah,
hear you.
I'm from Beaufort, not Moorhead.
Oh, sorry.
What
Two
a,
different high schools there.
what a beautiful place to be from.
Oh, thank you.
Gosh.
I don't
Is
know
that
what's
where-
up with the video, huh?
Is that
Sorry.
where you still live, Wade?
Yeah, I was born in Sea Level and graduated East Carolina, East Carter High School, went to East Carolina, graduated, did 25 years in the Army, and I came home. My wife's from Moorhead City, so we knew we were coming back to Carter County.
Thanks for your service.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Folks, I'm trying here. It doesn't seem to be wanting to work here. I'm pushing the video button, pushing the mute button. For some reason, it's not coming in.
That's okay. We forgive you. We're just excited that you joined us today.
It was Wade's research that brought you to this discovery of the hospital, was it not?
Absolutely. Wade, do you want to talk about that a little bit? What you were researching and why you kind of contacted us?
Yeah, sure. I'm probably about in 2005, I started working on a project that covers North Carolina Civil War hospitals. And of course, I'm covering everything from a hotel at Nag's Head on the Outer Banks to a building all the way in Asheville, North Carolina mountains and everything in between. But through my research and collection of stuff, I found a few points in New Bern. And as I started to work on that particular part of my manuscript that dealt with early New Bern in 61 and 62, I pulled out the file. And as I started to collect the dots, trying to connect these dots, there was one gapping piece there. I knew that two Confederate hospitals were established. First one on Hancock Street in July of 1861, September of 1861. And I knew the Craven Street Hospital was put into operation by the Confederates in January of 62, very early on. It didn't last very long, but through the National Archives, I discovered a couple letters written from the surgeon that was in charge of that hospital. And I knew it was called the Branch General Hospital and a few other things, but I could never really locate it. I knew it was on Craven Street. I never quite made that connection. And then I finally went to Claudia. I said, why not contact the great thing about historical societies here in our state? They're a repository for a lot of great information, especially when you're not a local from there. So I contacted Claudia, and from that point on, the ball started rolling very quickly. It was the mystery was solved.
What is it?
Well, what happened is we were looking for this hospital that none of us knew anything about. We had never heard that there was any kind of hospital on Craven Street. And what Wade said to me is, do you know where the Progress building is? Because it was near the Progress building. And I keep saying to everybody, it's kind of like when you say Mitchell's Hardware, and everybody here knows where it is. But if you had to say the address of Mitchell's Hardware, could you do it? You just know it's on Craven Street, right? So it was the same thing with the Progress building. I knew there had been the Daily Progress newspaper in the 1800s, and I knew John L. Pennington was the editor. So the logical thing would be go look on newspapers.com, pull up, the Progress, and it'll have the address. No, It just said, first it said Middle Street, because apparently it was on Middle Street first, and then they moved to Craven Street, but it gave no address. And it was like, this is just ridiculous. Like, why can't we find where this was? So Nathaniel here, who has worked with us on a lot of things, and he is Mr. Research, I call him. And he just happened to be here for another meeting. And I was talking to him about John L. Pennington, the editor, because he's involved with a whole other story, which is unbelievable. And I said, gee, Nathaniel, if you ever come across anything about the Progress Building, let me know. 2 hours later, I'll let Nathaniel tell you that part of the story.
Well, I didn't wait.
We're not hearing you. Scoot over.
Yeah, get closer to the microphone or speaker. We still can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you. Technical difficulties. Are you using the computer microphone or do you have handheld?
Can you hear her?
Now I
We can hear you now.
You can hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
perfect.
Touch nothing. You don't touch anything. So yeah, I didn't waste any time with this. I thought this was a really fun mystery. And so I went on the Registry of Deeds and I looked up the name of the editor of the newspaper. And sure enough, I found a deed of sale for property in Craven Street. And it mentioned being the building known as the where the New Bern Progress newspaper was run. And it gave all the information, all the meets and bounds. It gave us the lot number and everything. And so the next step was to find out, exactly where the building was. And we were able to find out it was at lot 51. And then we found where lot 51 was, and the building is still there.
Wow, very cool.
That's
And
incredible.
what is lot 51?
All
Now
right.
we can't
Oh,
hear
we
you,
can't
Claudia.
hear
All right, how's this? How's this?
There we are.
Okay, we need to keep turning it. We finally solved this. Okay, so this is the famous brick block building, or the old City Hall on Craven Street. Everybody goes by it all the time. And so I was so excited about that we found where it was. I mentioned to Jim Hodges, who's our curator, and he knows everything about New Bern. I said, Jim, we found it. Here's where it was. And he, in his own very quiet, unassuming way, said, Claudia, I've been in that building. I know the owner. Do you want me to see if we can get you guys in there? And we were like, I called Wade, and Wade was like, yes, I'll meet you tomorrow. So the four of us went, and Jim apologizes for not being here today, but so the four of us went and we met the owner, and he took us into this building. And Wade, do you want to talk about it a little bit? I'll let you kind of, I just don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah, it was great up to this point. At least now we've identified where the actual building's still standing here in New Bern, which makes it unique and somewhat compared to others here in the state. When we first got there, the owner of the building was giving us a very quick tour and sharing with us some of the history that he had learned of the building. As we were up there on the second floor, I'm just standing there kind of listening. And then if you look at that picture, if you look on the second story there, you see a set of four pairs of windows. And we're roughly right there in that corner, the first set there on the left. And as we're going along, he tells the story that, I'm confused, or I'm somewhat puzzled by this one part of the building because it's unlike the rest of the building, it's whitewashed. And the minute he said whitewashed, I knew, because I knew the hospital was only in a portion of the building, not the entire building. The Confederates had only either rented or borrowed, whatever, a portion of the building. And the minute he said whitewash, I knew we were on it. And it's like, and what's neat about it is that through the renovations after the Civil War, through the late 1800s into the 1900s, the very top part of what would be considered the ceiling of the attic was somewhat preserved by this false ceiling. So everything below was renovated through the decades and the centuries, but up top in the attic, when we got up there, you could literally be walking along, and all of a sudden, one part of the building was whitewashed, and as you continued on, the rest was not. And at the time of the Civil War, they would whitewash the entire interior. I mean, the trusses in the roof, the ceilings, the walls, everything was painted white for sanitary reasons, to make sure it's clean, but also to aid in lighting, especially at night when you're trying to do things with a oil lamp or a candle. So that was like the moment I knew it. And being up there was almost like this time capsule. You're going back in time, and there it is. It was preserved 156 years later. There we are in an original Civil War hospital here in North Carolina. And I'll tell you what's neat, ladies, is here in the state, there's only 2 buildings that I've been able to document that are still standing, that were Civil War hospitals. Not talking historic churches and a few old plantation homes and stuff like around Bentonville and Aversboro that were temporarily used as a hospital, but the original buildings, the Peace College, which is now William Peace University in Raleigh, the main building on the campus there, that was a very large Confederate hospital later on in the war. It came in after this one in New Bern. Now with the New Bern one, and up in Wilson, there's a small outbuilding that's still preserved by this Historical Society up there. That's the last remnant of that original hospital in Wilmington. So that made it really neat to be standing right there in that building and knowing that this hospital is still standing today.
Wow. Wait, I have a question. Is the Masonic Theater, I heard that was a Civil War hospital. Is that not true?
Yeah, I understand that my writing initially is on the history of Confederate hospitals. Eventually I'll swing into the history of the Union hospitals in North Carolina, but because 90% of them were Confederate, I started with the big book first. Right after when the Federals, after the Battle of New Bern on March 14th, 1862, within the next several days, all the wounded from the south side of the river are brought into New Bern and to be taken care of. In the Masonic Lodge, the New Bern Academy, all those eventually become a large Union hospital complex that exists throughout for the remainder of the war. The Federals will come in a couple days after, on March 16th. One of the Union surgeons, they knew that was a Confederate hospital. They go in there. I said, why not just make this one of the hospitals? And they will. And eventually it's called the Craven Street Hospital by the Union forces, but that included the Masonic Hall and a couple other buildings. But as far as Confederate hospitals, it's just the hospital on Craven Street, Hancock Street, and one other small house in New Bern.
I got you. Thank you for clarifying that.
Now, does anybody know what the intentions are with that building
Well,
on Craven Street?
we spoke to the owner, who was so generous, but he wishes to not have his name out there. It is a gigantic building. And the second floor, all of that, I mean, it was City Hall at one point. So
It was.
in the big giant room, you could see where there had been like a stage where they probably held events and things. The fire department had been in there. There's a lot of businesses that have gone in and out of there. And I think he would like to renovate and do something with it, but you are talking, I mean, honestly, millions of dollars. I mean, it's not something you could just, and that's the thing, when we went up to this room, I can't begin to describe to you. We were over boards. We had to be careful so we didn't go through a floor. It got dark, so we had to have flashlights. We went up these stairs that I can't even describe to you, and there was no railing, and I'm claustrophobic. So this was, I was like, oh my heavens. So we got up there, we were over hill, over dale, and then when we got to this room and we realized, like, here's a lot of whitewashing, this is it. And then we were looking to see if anybody had inscribed their names on the boards, because that's typical for soldiers to do. We did not find that, but we did find some writing and some measurements and things for the boards. So of course the problem, we were all excited. The problem now came, oh no, we have to go down those stairs. like how are we going to do that? So there's no way you could go down, you know, the normal way you go downstairs. We had to back down very gingerly. And Nathaniel here is tall, so he is trying not to bump his head.
Actually was the last one to go down the ladder, and I didn't take the flashlight, went down before I went down. So it was very, I don't want to repeat that, but I'd love to see it again.
I keep quoting, I keep saying it was like being Indiana Jones without Indiana. You know, we're just, we came back here and we couldn't stop talking about it. And it's something to discover something. And I keep saying, we go by that building every day. How many of us go by that building? And we had no idea it was utilized at a hospital. And the thing is, we really documented a lot here in New Bern. Like, you can go around and we can say, oh, that private house. Oh, do you know during the Civil War, the 21st Massachusetts was in that building? That's what it was used for. But we didn't know this. So Wade calling us about this, and then some of it was just luck, and some of it was the right people at the right time. Nathaniel, who is very adept at digging up those records. So Wade and I aren't as good about that piece of it, looking that piece up. So we are trying to find that hospital on Hancock Street. Where it was located, it would not still be standing. I mean, that's very clear because it's between Broad Street and Pollock Street. And that, the piece that we had on that is, it was near Mr. Sidham's store. So that has begun the search, and Nathaniel's been looking. I've looked for a while. We looked through censuses. We know Mr. Sidham lived on that street. We know he had a store near the train depot. We keep getting closer, we think, but we may never know exactly where that was. So that's what was, and we were looking for that first. So that's what's really cool about this piece is we actually found it. Like, oh.
Very
well,
cool.
what a discovery. Congratulations to all of you.
Now, when
Very
does
good.
Wade's book come?
Well, yeah. Well, I've been trying. Unfortunately, COVID this and COVID that. The National Archives still remains closed. And so until I can get back up to the National Archives, I'm not ready to publish yet until I can put that source down in my footnotes, because I think that's very important. Fortunately, the State Archives has opened up some of the Chapel Hill collections. They've been very helpful in sending me stuff, but the National Archives, I'm not getting anywhere with them. So until they open up. So we're looking at probably, I spoke to the publisher 2 weeks ago, probably early 2022, probably the way things are going.
All right, we'll watch for it.
Thank you very much.
All right, congratulations.
Kathy, I think you need to have Claudia and Nathaniel and Wade do, like a series of talks for the Historical
I
Society.
think that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea. Indiana Jones comes to New Bern.
There you go.
Yeah, I tell you folks, it really is. It's a cooperation there between a researcher and a team of folks coming with their talents. And then the beauty of having Historical Society, like I said, I cannot tell you enough how many other historical societies in our state has come through at the last second for me. But this is truly, this is a great story. None of the other ones have been like this, but this is really good.
Well,
Very
thanks for
cool.
coming on and telling us the story. I can only imagine how excited you must have been when, you found it. I mean, it must feel like a gold mine. We are lucky to have you in New Bern and Eastern North Carolina. And we will stay tuned for the next story of discovery, right?
Yeah, you need some kind of title for what you're going to be doing, and you got to come back. So,
Well, we can have a history hunter show or something.
there you go. You know those catchphrases, so yeah. Definitely. So
Claudia's got something good like that coming for you in June. So we'll tell you about it when he gets here.
Yeah, we got something
Okay.
coming up, but we'll make you wait.
okay. Well, it's awesome seeing you guys. And Wade, I'm sorry the video didn't work. I'm not sure what happened there, but hopefully you'll be back and to join us again. So
Well, thank you so much. Thanks so much for having me. Thank you.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
great
Have a good
seeing you.
afternoon.
Thank you.
Enjoy this
Woo.
beautiful day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Woo. See you later.
Bye.
That's just such a great story.
Yes, it
of
is.
discovering discovering an unknown, and there it was.
Yes.
Yep,
Very cool.
absolutely agree.
You know, when we're talking about history, I can't help, I have to say it. When we had Mark Best on 2 weeks ago, I think,
Mhm.
he was talking about, the history of Pleasant Hill. Well, he called me this past weekend and said, Wendy, can you come out to Beaman Road? So I'm like, okay. So it's like right up the road. Well, I never didn't know it's a brick road. It's the old brick road, and it was the road before any of these other roads. And that's Caswell Branch, where the North Carolina, the governor
Mhm.
Caswell
Mhm.
came through. In the bricks, they actually have printed, I think it's Augusta brick or something. It's just like an old brick road in the middle of nowhere. It was cool. So you just never know what you're gonna
No.
discover. And he showed me his where his great grand folks and his granddad were buried in a family cemetery, but he wouldn't know it was even there, you know what I mean? So
Wow.
yeah, very cool. So
He and Claudia have connected, and he's going to share his story with her so we can, document that and save that story.
wonderful. And if you're out there, anyone listening, give the Historical Society a call at 638-8558. Is
You
that
got
right?
it.
All right. If you have any tips, or where that other hospital may be, or you just want to be in the know with, because they bring history to life every day, and they do a great job.
Well, thank you.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, and speaking of history, we have the trivia question,
Yes.
and we have ding, ding, ding. We have an answer. Joanne Bell Gaskins has guessed. Does anyone else have any guesses? Who is the architect of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in DC, which she designed when she was only 21 years old? So a young lady. Well, she's not young anymore, but I'm sure she is at heart. Anybody?
I
Any
do
guess?
not know. Although I'm sure when you say it, I'll be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember all the discussion and my gosh, she's only 21. How can she possibly do this? Well, she did.
You ready?
Yes.
Joanna, you're right. It's Maya Lin. Maya Lin. So
So what does she win?
a gift certificate to a local restaurant, and I'll be
Oh.
in touch with you soon, Joanna. And
Congratulations,
congratulations. Woo-hoo. Great job, and thanks for playing. So
Surely.
yeah, and
And
I do want to make an announcement about the Carolina. We have to go a little longer because it was a technical difficulty with. It has to be an hour show, so if you guys can spare 5 more minutes.
absolutely we
Yep.
can.
Okay. I was out in the Croatan National Forest, which I spend a lot of time out there. And a couple of weeks ago, I'm driving down the dirt road, and I look, instead of seeing this overgrown, trail that used to be a trail, it was cut. And there's daffodils, are they the yellow flowers, all growing up, and oh my gosh, I was just so thrilled that they have mowed the food plot areas. And I mean, it's been, I don't know, at least 2-3 years. I'm pretty sure the funding was cut for the Forest Service, not sure why or what the reasoning, but the trails are well manicured, and I saw people out there walking. It was just walking with their dogs and their family, and it's just gorgeous. So if you haven't been in the Croatan, I highly suggest make sure you have a map, actually a hard map, because the roads are not like, there's no signs. It's just the dirt roads. So you gotta be like, okay, I gotta turn at the next road, and you can
Your
find,
right from your left.
Yeah, you can find those maps on the NC Wildlife website. And speaking of NC Wildlife, one of my neighbors is a wildlife officer, and he was out cleaning out his boat, the official wildlife boat, and it looks like it's been around for a while. Well, he was really excited because he's getting a brand new one. So
Ooh.
I'm really happy for him because they work so hard, and in the extreme temperatures from hot to cold, or well, okay, it doesn't get that cold here, but they're out there, all the time working on rescues, or just I really appreciate all they do, and congratulations to my neighbor on the new boat, and I'm so glad that the funding is back. What else?
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great news. And
we also have coming up at the end of the month, we have the Craven Works Outdoor Job Fair and Resources event. It's March 30th. They're switching it up this year, particularly due to COVID. It's going to be outside at Union Point Park from 11 o'clock in the morning until 5:30 in the afternoon. This is open to the public. You can call 514-4829 for details, but if you look online and on social media, they've created a new flyer with a QR code on it. You can scan that with your phone and pre-register for the event. So you don't have to get there and stand in long lines to register to be able to meet some of the employers and things like that. So make sure you scan that QR code. And Rashima Walker was on here several weeks ago talking about Craven Works and about how many employers and just the depth of need in the New Bern area for skilled and trained employees. And boy, is Rashima Walker a ball of energy.
She is. She will make it happen.
She really will. So March 30th, Union Point Park, 11 o'clock until 5:30. If you're looking for a job, want to change jobs, looking for a new career, go to the Craven Works Outdoor Job Fair.
Yeah, and one thing I'm going to mention that Rashima mentioned in her Marine kind of way, wear masks, folks. Even if you're vaccinated, she won't let you through unless you have a mask on. So she just, following the rules. Some of us are a little more, I'm not going to go there. Anyway, okay. And we also have, what's in 42 days, ladies?
Earth Day.
Earth Day. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. So if you want to participate, if you have a business and you have products or services that are related to sustainable living, give me a call, or a nonprofit, or if you individually want to participate. We have the Crazy Botanist. Do you know who that is? Have you ever heard of him? Derek Haynes, he's from New Bern. He's going to be coming from Raleigh. I'm pretty sure he's an instructor. I don't know if it's NC State or one of the botany instructors out at one of the universities. So he's going to be coming to New Bern, and it's just, so he's going to have a hands-on demonstration. So if you want to do that on your own, we will be happy to publish whatever you're doing to celebrate Earth Day. And we're going to have a live streaming event for a couple hours with Dr. Tom Glasgow, hopefully the Riverkeeper, like last year we did that. And so if you want to be a guest, give us a call, 259-6853, or send us an email at info@newbernnow.com. Yeah, and it's exciting.
Yes, very. Hopefully we'll have as beautiful a day for Earth Day celebrations.
Here you go.
And then real quick, on Saturday night is the Improv-A-Thon, celebrating International Fanny Pack Day. You've seen the little ads and things for this. They're so cute and funny. It's March 13th from 4 to 10 p.m. It's at the New Bern Civic Theater, presented by Walk-In Bathtubs, who are our friends Craig Ramey and Keith Boyd and George Oliver and a but not Pam.
Not
Okay.
Pam.
Okay. And they've been able to expand the number of folks that can come into the theater at each seating.
Yeah,
So that's going to be good for them to have bigger audiences.
Absolutely.
yeah.
So,
I'm really, really happy for the world, but specifically New Bern and the greater New Bern area, and things are open, they're beginning to open up. I don't think COVID will ever go away. I think smallpox was the only disease that was actually eradicated from Earth, but we will be learning to live with it and, being tamed, just like the flu we get, so that's my prediction, but as long as we follow the guidelines, I think we're going to be in really good shape, by who knows, summer or the end of the year. So I'm very optimistic of what the future may hold for our little town. So
you're a glass half full person.
yeah.
As long as Rashima's there to say, wear a mask.
Yeah.
That's right.
As long as Rashima's by my side, come on, we can do this. We can
That's
do it.
right. Well, as we close out the show, we want you to let us know if you'd like to be a guest on New Bern Now, or maybe you have questions. Maybe there are things you've thought about. You have some suggestions for us. We love it. Tell us by calling 252-259-6853, or put your thoughts together in an email and send it to info@newbernnow.com. Next week, we're going to be back on Zoom Live on March 18th, the day after St. Patrick's Day, on the New Bern Now Facebook page. The video and audio will be uploaded to newbernnow.com and also to YouTube, iTunes, and just about anywhere that you listen to podcasts. And you can also listen to the show on New Bern's news talk radio station, WNOS 103.9 FM. We give a great big thank you to them for airing our show every Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you haven't already, get outside and enjoy this beautiful afternoon. But first and foremost, thanks for listening. We hope everybody has a super wonderful day.
Yes. Thank you, ladies.
Woo!
Thank you, everyone. Woohoo! Take care. Bye-bye.
See you next week.
See you next week. Woohoo!